This is Real News Media TV, coverage you can trust. Please like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Select all for daily news updates. St. Catherine woman chopped to death, husband hospitalized. Residents of the farming community of Buxton Town in St. Catherine woke up this morning to news that a 60-year-old woman and her husband had been the victims of a savage machete attack. The 60-year-old woman succumbed to her injuries at the scene of the incident. Her husband is currently hospitalized in serious condition. Police reports are that about 1 a.m., unknown assailants invaded the couple's home and chopped them. Buxton Town is a small farming community nestled between Wakefield and Linstead in St. Catherine. The Linstead police are investigating. Police ID one of 3 suspects in murder of Chinese couple. The St. Elizabeth police have identified one of 3 suspects wanted for the December 2021 double murder of a Chinese couple in Bellevue in the parish. The wanted man has been identified as Tommy Thompson from Cameron Hill in Magotty, St. Elizabeth. The 3 gunmen were reportedly caught on closed-circuit television system posing as customers in the Jojo supermarket before killing He Kong Wan, 48, businesswoman, and Shiyong Shu, 53, businessman of Bellevue District. It is theorized that the motive for the killing, which took place shortly before 8 p.m., was robbery. The police said the business owners who operated the supermarket were killed during a robbery at the business place. Residents told the news that the supermarket, which has been in operation for almost 8 years, has been robbed at least 3 times prior to the murders. A police source said investigators are also probing the possibility of the double murder being contracted. Investigators are encouraging anyone with information that can assist them to contact Crime Stop at 311, the police 119 number, or the nearest police station. Police moving to address a gridlock on Ocheria's main road. Head of the St. Anne Police Division, Senior Superintendent Dwight Powell, and his team have introduced several measures to reduce gridlock on major roads in the parish in recent times. Motorists are currently facing lengthy delays when traveling along the main road to and from Ocheria's during peak hours. What we have been trying to do to mitigate the problem is to have police officers at point on duties at the various intersections, such as the Knutsford intersection in Prairie and also on the 8 Rivers Plaza in Ocherias, so as to keep the traffic flowing, Powell told the news. The congestion is believed to be as a result of commercial and residential developments along the highway with several entry and exit points. Motorists traveling in the easterly direction towards St. Mary, upon approaching the traffic signal at Knutsford Express intersection in Drax Hall, usually experience delays. The same is true along the Prairie Main Road, which has many established business. Powell indicated that another strategy that they have been relying on heavily to remedy the problem is regulating the traffic lights. We have collaborated with the National Works Agency to give the traffic lights at some intersections longer runs than other sections. That way, the traffic can flow a bit faster, said Powell, who also argued that indiscipline among motorists is contributing significantly to the traffic woes. Some motorists are undertaking and overtaking in areas where that is not permitted. We want to ask the motorists to obey the rules of the road, especially the taxi operators, said Powell. A recommendation is that we put some boulders on the softer shoulders to prevent undertaking, Powell added. He said there is also a recommendation for a bypass to be constructed for motorists traveling through Prairie. That, he said, is urgently needed because there are more expected developments which will increase the traffic flow. Jamaican on money laundering charges in the Bahamas. A Jamaican man pleaded not guilty to money laundering charges when he appeared in a Bahamian magistrate court on Tuesday. Damien Dujon, a 37-year-old native of Westmoreland, was held on 2 separate charges according to a report from the Bahamas Tribune newspaper. The Jamaican is charged with receiving in relation to him possessing €905, which belonged to an individual from January 12 to January 28. The money laundering charge relates to Dujon's arrest on January 28 when he was found in possession of $18,577 Bahamian dollars at Governor's Harbor in Eleuthera. The monies, the report stated, is suspected to be the proceeds of crime. Following his not guilty plea on both the charges, DeJohn was remanded into custody. His travel documents were also seized. St. Mary Parish Court to remain closed. The St. Mary Parish Court in Portmore will remain closed until further notice as the cleanup activities continue at the facility. The court has been closed since Wednesday, February 2, following heavy rains in the parish which flooded the building. All matters scheduled for Portmore will continue to be heard in the Anota Bay outstation, including matters for the Children's Court. For further information, individuals may contact the CAD at 876-754-8337 or toll-free at 1-888-429-5269 or via email at customerservice@cad.gov.jm. JFF suspects Costa Rica played with COVID-positive players. Jamaica Football Federation General Secretary Dalton Wint has confirmed that 3 players and 3 officials from the Costa Rican team who played against the Reggae Boys at the National Stadium on Wednesday tested positive for COVID-19. Wint, however, was unable to confirm if any of the players had on-pitch time during the CONCACAF World Cup qualifier match. 6 persons tested positive, 3 were players and 3 were officials. I don't know how many of them played. I suspect at least 1 or 2 were on the field, he said. Wint told the news that if it is confirmed that any of the COVID-19 positive players were allowed to play in Wednesday's match, it would constitute a breach of game rules. It is a breach and it needs to be investigated and dealt with. I don't know how the governing bodies will rule after investigations, but the course of action can include a rematch, a fine, or Jamaica being awarded the 3 points, he said. The Reggae Boys lost the game 1-0 to the Costa Ricans. If Jamaica is awarded the 3 points from Wednesday's game, it would bring the Reggae Boys up to 10 points in the group. It, however, would not change their imminent elimination and the end of the World Cup journey. Wint shared that investigations into these matters can be lengthy and could not confirm when a decision on the next course of action will be made. Call for Portmore Parish status to be placed on hold. President of the Cumberland Tri-Sector Citizens Association, Dalton Scott, wants plans for Portmore to become a parish put off for at least 2 years. The House of Representatives on Tuesday approved a motion to establish Portmore as Jamaica's 15th parish. It's projected that the process leading to Portmore being declared a parish should be completed before the next local government elections. But Mr. Scott says more consultation is needed and certain things need to be in place first. Some years ago, we were given city status and we were struggling to understand what is this that was given to Portmore, and we were still lacking of many facilities and amenities. We were also told that we were going to have our own mayor. To become a parish, all of that will be thrown in the wind. We are short of a number of things: hospital, market, cemetery, all these things we want to implement. So I'm saying give it 2 years, and when all these things are in place, then we can move forward, he said. Meanwhile, the chairman of the Joint Select Committee, which considered the motion to establish Portmore as a parish, Dr. Andrew Wheatley, argues that there is no requirement for certain amenities to be in place for an area to be declared a parish. He also said that the current structure of the municipal corporation will remain, with the mayor being directly elected. Mentorship program coming to help reduce murders in St. Anne. Following a reduction of 21% in the St. Anne murder rate for 2021 compared to the previous year, Senior Superintendent of Police in charge of the parish, Dwight Powell, says the division will introduce additional measures in an effort to further reduce the figures. Citing that half of the 55 murders committed last year were domestic-related, Powell said the police would be putting some significant resources behind settling those incidents. To this end, he said a mentorship program will be introduced as part of an overall increase in community interventions by the police. We are going to be seeking volunteers to help to mentor our young people to ensure that they have some positive role models to work with. We will replace the scammers, we will replace the gangsters with positive role models, Powell said recently. And so, concerning all station commanders in St. Anne, one of the things we will do is to bridge our community intervention, our partnership. I have one of the best community safety and security sections in the island, and so community engagement will form a pivotal role in terms of what we are trying to accomplish for this year. Powell urged the residents of the parish to continue using available resources, including a domestic violence intervention center in Alexandria and the Justice Center in St. Anne's Bay, to resolve their differences amicably. The parish has seen an increase in murders since the start of the year. Figures from the Jamaica Constabulary Force show that from January 1 to 29, there were 7 murders in St. Anne, up from 6 for the corresponding period last year. Powell also warned the criminals against committing crimes in St. Anne, saying there is no room in the parish for them. I want to say to persons who are hell-bent on committing crime and violence in St. Anne, take away yourself, because there is no place in St. Anne, no room at all in St. Anne for criminals and criminality, Powell stated. He added that the police are resolved to ensuring that St. Anne remains one of the safest parishes. The JCF crime figures also show that St. Anne shootings are down to 2 from 4, and the rape is down to 4 from 7. Meanwhile, robbery has increased from 2 to 10, and the break-ins rose from 4 to 5. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Select all for daily news updates.